What's going on, YouTube? We're going to look at a Jeep today. And I love Jeeps. I don't have a ton of them in the collection. Just because it can be redundant. They didn't make a lot of Jeep body styles. My favorite diecast Jeep really is Grand Wagoneers and Wagoneer Jeeps, Cherokees, things like that. But the occasional CJ, if they look right, I really do like them. And this one is awesome. This is one of 3 different colors that Model Car Group does. And this is a 1/18 scale CJ-7. I think either late 70s, early 80s. Discontinued. The CJ-7 went up to 86. So it was in the 80s. This particular stripe package on the Renegade was common in this color scheme. They did a broader stripe too on these. Let me get my, there we go, my fat finger out of the way. But yeah, they had changing in the stripes, so I couldn't really particularly pin down the year. They don't denote a year, I don't think, on this packaging. They just called it CJ7. It also has Hawaii registration, which I thought was cool. But very, very bone stock. This is a die-cast body, plastic chassis, rubber tires. But it's got some really cool features. A lot of the Model Car Group cars I've had so far have had plastic windshield wipers. This is the first time I've seen them in the metal photo etch style, so we'll look at that. But let's just take a broad overview of it. This really is out before the green light version. There's green light CJs now, 5s and 7s, CJ7s, die-cast that they've done in 1/18 scale. Very similar to this vehicle, but it has posable steering. This has fixed steering. We'll look at the chassis later. But I love the stance. The ride height is perfect for stock Jeep, and where the tires meet the fenders. I like that too. The back spacing is nice. Also, the headlights are great. Take a zoom real quick. They're round, meaning that like you can see how they have a curve to them. They're not just flat pieces of plastic. And the signal bulbs, they didn't do orange, they're clear, which would have had an orange bulb in there. So I like that a lot. This doesn't go through, but they blacked it out. You can see there's no overspray when they painted that. Just a little bit right there on the bottom. But that could just look like dirt. Plastic bumper. Look at those tires and rims. The one thing that stands out about this, yeah, they had, their Jeeps were tiny compared to other cars of the day. These rims, the diameter looks a little bit large. Just a slight bigness to them, but other than that, they're pretty good. So, AMC had owned Jeep at this point. It bought it from basically Kaiser when they consolidated and made American Motor Corporation in 1970. They purchased Jeep from Kaiser, which Kaiser actually built or bought the Jeep from the Willys company. So, long history of the Jeep nameplate being owned by different people. And then, of course, AMC sold it to Chrysler, and then Chrysler has been sold multiple times to bigger automakers. So, yeah, it's still around. So this body went to 86, and really the last of the true Jeeps, these open door trucks like this that go back to the 50s. So the CJ7 came out in 76, 10-inch longer wheelbase. But the CJ5, which really went back into the 50s, it also, once AMC acquired Jeep, and this is an AMC Jeep, really made a lot of changes. They made the train a little bit wider. They put a wider track in. They started using Dana axles, I think. They also gave them AMC engines, so they got rid of the Willys 4-cylinder after a while. And we got just a bunch of inline 6s, no more 4-cylinder base power during this period. They went back to 4-cylinders eventually. They also offered diesel drivetrains on these vehicles, mostly for export. I think a few of them were produced in a certain number of years for North America, but most of the diesels were out export. I think it was a Mitsubishi diesel or something like that. But anyway, the best one to get during AMC's ownership of the company was getting the 304 AMC V8. It's a nice stout 5-liter. You can build it up good. Power rate ratio is excellent. There wasn't really a lot of weight on this vehicle at all. I mean, it barely had bumpers on it. Off-road vehicle. So this is a stick shift model. And I love it. They have the Jeep steering wheel, and we can see right there, you can see the AMC badge next to the Jeep, so I love that. That steering wheel, even when Chrysler bought Jeep, 87 I think it was, they kept a lot of AMC derived parts, particularly the inline 6 that had a 3.8 and a 4.2 liter eventually went to a 4 liter once they put fuel injection on it and everything like that. But also during Kaiser's ownership, when the CJ5 before the CJ7 came out, they were using Buick derived V6 engines, and that was kind of the most popular. The 4-cylinder was too gutless for modern roads back then, so it was a very low volume once in the 50s and 60s took place. Let's take a look at a shifter. So this is like their Quadra-Track or the 4-wheel drive. They offered a full-time 4-wheel drive high and low, and then also a part-time 4-wheel drive high and low. And you got your stick, and then you got your other one. So you got this one here is here's your 4-wheel drive lever. It's got a lot of pedals down there, but it had a foot operated emergency brake, so there's tons of pedals as you can see. But the gauge layout is perfect. AMC was one of the people that added a radio as options, and then later on had air conditioning and all sorts of things that when Kaiser owned it didn't have anything. Also separate, look at the grab rail on the passenger side, that's separate stock, bar stock. So just great detail. So these list for about $70, $80 if you can get it from AmericanExcellence.com. They're the importer from the Germans that kind of do these. You can also see Jeep is on the crash pad right here because that's on the glove box. A lot of times you'd get a lockable center console for this thing and put it right here. Renegade could come with the 6 or the 8, so it had both. I think the 4-cylinder became available too. So this is a thing, trim level up, but it wasn't the top dog. The Golden Eagle, which I have here, just to also show you again, CJ5. You can see the door how it looks. It's a shorter wheelbase. And they made these until 81, I guess, and then they got rid of them. CJ82 was a scrambler, so it would be basically a CJ7 stretched wheelbase. And then it would have a pickup bed, half cab, and it would be longer out here. But definitely it would be great to get this. I think it was a 4-speed. You can get a 4-speed stick with the 304. You can get a 3-speed automatic too. So hard top is also becoming an option. It wasn't just soft. So AMC brought in a lot of creature comforts to the Jeep line. Stripe package is awesome. Look at that. There's 3 of these that Model Car Group does. There's a brown one, that's the Golden Eagle. And then they do a black and blue trimmed one, which is their Laredo. But I like the Renegade. I like the graphics on this. This reminds me of Matchbox. It's probably why I was drawn towards the color scheme. But I'm glad I got this. Then the green light. The green light, it seems I've seen some actual pictures of it, and it had a little bit of issues with the way the ride height was sitting. Very plain chassis, but you get a very high level of detail with the body and everything else. So you can see they kind of put those backers on the axle, so it kind of makes up like a disc brake you can see through. I wonder if you can see through that, but it spins nicely. Big rubber tires. And it just says CJ7. Nothing much. Separate leaf springs for the back, but the front they're molded in. Side exhaust, which I don't know if the CJ7 had it like that. I know they did side exhaust stock. I just don't remember the years. And they also did pretty good with the mirrors. They have chrome foil, so you can look like a mirror there. Very pleased with it. The other thing too I like about it is roll bar is done good. It's set back correctly. It's not straight up and down. And the thickness of the bar stock is good too. That's all plastic. But the body's metal. So Very, very happy to have this vehicle in the collection. This looks good with the 1/18 scale stuff. I kind of like parking it next to my highway patrol car. It looks like it's getting pulled over at the beach. So, box, let's just show this. Again, I got this online. It was on sale one day. Sometimes I'll do a rolling sale. The 3 of them are still available. It's kind of like their house brand, sort of, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, it comes in a window box. This one doesn't have any acrylic case. It just has the base. So it says CJ-7. I have a shelf for these 1/18, so I don't know if you really can't see. There you go. So, and then the information about the vehicle is right here. These people, I guess, make this, but they're sold under this. These are on eBay too, but their prices are too high. That's the German website, but if you type in AmericanExcellence.com, they ship out of the East Coast. He has a warehouse with these cars are there, so you're not paying. Because I guess if you get them from the ones on the eBay site or whatever, they're like twice the price, especially with shipping. But there it is. Quick look, 1/18 scale Jeep CJ-7. You can comment below what you think the year is. I guess, I don't know, late 70s, early 80s. I don't think they made an 86 that looked like that. But you tell me. Well, hope you enjoyed it. More to come. I got 1/64 scale piling up that we're going to take a look at too. So hopefully we get a chance to see those very soon. Hope everybody's been staying well. Thank you for all the warm comments, and your subscriptions helps out the channel greatly. More to come, more to come. Once again, thanks for watching. Until next time.